I've drank the Kool-Aid. I've drank the Kool-Aid. Oh, look at it though. Oh, this is it. Hey, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be doing a review of Dehancer, specifically on Mac in Premiere Pro. And of course, if you're new here, I'm Andy Trace. I'm a freelance cameraman, filmmaker, and social media content creator. I shoot a lot in my studio, making social ads. And I try to shoot outside as much as possible with kind of adventure, travel, and motorcycles. Dehancer reached out to me and offered me a free copy of the software in exchange for this review. They also very specifically said to be completely open and honest so that they can learn their pitfalls and hopefully improve the software. So this is my first impressions and quick review. I hate it when people kind of just have a quick fiddle around with stuff without any kind of purpose. So today I'm going to be focused on a video that I've created, which is me filming some 1950s Triumph motorcycles. There's some moments in there that I wanted to look quite vintage and quite old. And so we're going to play with Dehancer today to see how we can affect those images and make those clips look a bit more like film. So here's the project. Okay, so it's probably important to point out at this point that I've exported my final project into a ProRes 422 file, and I'm editing currently on a Mac M2 Max Studio. So when considering performance, that's where we're at. So I've got some clips like this that I want to make look a bit old, and I've also got these bits talking to camera that I want to make look a bit more filmy. So where do we begin? I've already installed the software, so I'm just going to go up to favorites. Have I put it in my favorites yet? Yeah, Dehancer Pro, here we go. Let's drop Dehancer on. Ooh, okay, that's quite extreme for a first look. It's really heavily affected the white balance, straight up. So let's see what we can do. I feel like I need to tweak the temperature a bit. It's definitely too green. Looks a bit better. Defringe I can probably leave. Wow, okay. This is actually really handy. This is false color inside the editing software. That's actually really handy, isn't it? Okay, so top tip here is that if lumetri color is below Dehancer, when you change the exposure, look, I can turn it right down, but it's still red. So look at my order here. In effect controls, lumetri is below, and the exposure is having no effect on the false color. Whereas if I put it above, it's affecting it before Dehancer's reading it. This is really great. I don't know why I've not had this before. Like if you're trying to play around with skin tones and stuff, obviously you should get your exposure in camera, right? But this is really, really handy. I can't believe that's not been integrated into Premiere before. That seems strange. So how are we looking now? I think we're just going to add a bit of grain to this shot and that'll be us done. How grainy can we go? Pretty grainy. That's obviously way too much. But I do want these clips to look different to the rest. So I might go a little bit wild. Oh, that size, this is a mount. How about not very much grain, that's massive. That kind of feels more like I'm getting VHS vibes from that, I don't know why, which isn't quite what we're after, but would be very useful if I was trying to do a VHS kind of thing. I said I was going to go wild, now I'm taming myself already, aren't I? But I think that looks cool, that looks good. So this is it without Dehancer. Wow, that's so much cleaner. Okay, maybe I did go quite wild on the grain. So that's it clean, it's nice. And this is it with Dehancer ran through it. So let's just copy and paste this to a few other clips. That objectively looks so much more like film than the original, obviously because the original was just clean shot 4K. And that just looks a bit, you know, the exposure's not great, the lighting's not perfect, it's a bit out of focus. And then you chuck that on it, and suddenly all those previous things are true, but because of the costume, the bike, you haven't got any modern props in the background or any modern kind of references. Suddenly this could be an old moment from some film. I like that. That's cool. That's exactly what I want to do. Right, should we do it to some more interesting shots? This wasn't how I was going to grade these bits, but hey, let's just see what it looks like. Just for fun. And I'll do my talking head in a bit. I'm going to check out the gate weave and all that kind of stuff on that. Let's just copy and paste again. It's cool. I do like it. I do like it. Ah, see now. This is a much better example here. You can see the halation here, which clearly is too much. But that shows it off a much, much, much better. Where is it? Halation. So, what have I got too high? Maybe the amplify is too high. Yeah, okay. Here you go. See, that's quite intense. That looks good. That is nice. I think the grain's a bit heavy on these clips, but it looks pretty cool. I really, really love this. This is good. That just looks right now. You got an old bike and it just looks, even though I've shot it on a gimbal, on a trailer. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think maybe, is it too grainy? What's really funny as well is like when you shoot stuff and you're like, oh, it's out of focus, it's a bit soft, it's a bit this, it's a bit that. It's amazing how when you completely degrade the image, it's so beautiful, but so soft. And then, but when you go back, it's like, oh my God, it's so sharp. Like that thing I was worried about when I thought it was too soft, suddenly it becomes too crisp. It's amazing how perspective changes everything and what you're used to when you go back to it. But I really like that. That halation really does work nicely. Right, let's copy this with the headlights. Ooh, look at the colors on that. Oh, that Cortina suddenly looks, oh, this all looks very good now, doesn't it? I was going to only put the Dehancer on some of this, on those little moments with the film mat around it, but look at that. So I created this little promo for Fuel Motorcycles with their gloves, and I thought I'd do something a bit different with the Ford Cortina. And in my head, it was kind of like this girl has committed a crime and she's kind of on the getaway. That's why she's wearing the gloves, and she's, driving off into the sunset. And yeah, my idea was this kind of like 1970s kind of feel, but it's incredible the difference it makes when you go from how I shot it and graded it originally, which I was perfectly happy with. I liked it, it looked good. But then you put that on there and that's, it just feels right. It just feels now this was actually in the 70s, you know? Oh, I love it. It's just the warm tones, the grain. It's playing back pretty badly, considering this is a ProRes export. So I imagine all these effects do take its toll on the computer. Let me just turn the resolution down a bit. I am screen recording at the same time, so that also might be having a detrimental effect. Oh, it looks so good. Do you know what? I haven't released this film yet, and I'm so glad. I'm going to put Dehancer all over it. I've drank the Kool-Aid. I've drank the Kool-Aid. Oh, look at it though. Oh, this is it. This is how it looked in my head when I watched this film. You know, when you kind of project how you want it to look and you kind of can't see it objectively because it's your baby. And then putting this on here, it just made me realise I didn't quite get what I wanted. And now I do. And now I have it. Yeah. This is really nice. It's just that grain, mate. But also the colours look lovely. Even I look nice. Look. But here, I want to test out, what was it, the gate weave? To see how that looks. So this is it without. Which, again, I was perfectly happy with. I thought it looked good. But this just feels a bit nicer, a bit warmer, a bit softer. I think I've probably got too much grain. Film grain. Okay. Right, let's try this gate weave. So gate weave is kind of that micro jitter that you get when film's running through the spindle, through the gate on a film camera. Let's see if this does anything. Just gonna crank everything up and see what happens.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. My name's Andy Trace. I am a freelance filmmaker.
Why am I not seeing it? Let me just render it and see if that makes any difference. It might just be that we can't see it because my processor can't keep up. It's taking a long time to render 20 seconds of video. It's crazy the world we live in now. I'm excited by spending a fortune on cameras, a fortune on computers, potentially a fortune on this software if I hadn't been given it for free for this video. And we're just completely degrading everything. We're trying to make everything look nostalgic. It's an interesting thing. It's a topic I would love to dive deeper into on why we feel the need to make everything feel nostalgic. Something that I've just shot. I mean, this kind of makes sense because I'm shooting older bikes and stuff, but people are doing it to everything. You know, you go to a modern day event these days and people are putting this kind of grain on everything because it looks better. It makes you feel something a bit more. Is that by association? Because things from the past all look like that? And so you translate that into your modern world? Or is it because we're not nostalgic anymore? We don't create any kind of new memories in person, so that we feel the need to kind of force nostalgia onto these images that we capture. I'm not sure. I find it a really interesting thing, but I actually don't know why we do it. Here we go.
Welcome to the channel. My name's Andy Trace. I am a freelance filmmaker for about 10 years now. I've been running my own video production company. I make lots of content for various clients out there.
This is obviously too much, and it looks crap because the frame is also going with it.
A couple of years ago now,
I wonder if I import my mats. Just as a really quick down and dirty test. And sorry if I'm going too fast on here. I know I'm making a video for you, but I'm also listening to me genuinely actually using this software and trying to see what it can do for me. Okay, then Gaussian blur just makes the edges a bit softer. It needs to be rendered again.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. My name's Andy Trace. I am a free.
Okay, so that looks a lot better. Obviously, this edge isn't showing very nicely because I need to fill that in with black. And obviously the settings are too high, but it gives you a sense of what that can do. So I think with something much more subtle, you'd get much more of that little kind of gateway stutter. Okay, so my memory card's about to run out and I need to wrap this up anyway. So let's run down what I truly believe and honestly think about this software. I think it's really good. And I do genuinely believe that. That's why I want to use it on a real edit, because I just want to know, would I actually use this? And this is definitely something I'd use it on. I love how this looks, this little sequence. Like, I think the film stock I've chosen has just worked really well with like the kind of pinks and yellows. I'm going to go through now and spend a bit more time on grading this project again, which is going to be super annoying, but the result's going to be worth it, I think. So yeah, I think if I match the film stock with the right clips to bring out the best colors, like this one as here, then I think we're going to be massively onto a winner. Obviously, there's way more film stocks to choose from. That's all really handy and nice to have. But what I'm very excited about is, firstly, the grain. I've always had to download film grain and you kind of don't really have much choice over it. So the fact that you can, in fact, change the size, change the amount, and then obviously look, there's all this other stuff that you can tweak that I will get into at some point, I'm sure. Oh look, there's even digital. So that's really great. The other thing I'm excited about is the halation and bloom. Where's that other shot? Like here, again. So the halation, where are we seeing it? We're seeing it on here and here, on the handlebars, it all looks good. But then also the bloom, if I just turn that off, it's just that glow on those reflections. It just really, it does elevate it, it really does. And it does that film look thing that we're all craving to achieve. That is what makes film unique. And it's doing it so easily and it's so tweakable. And the false color thing, I think that's really useful, and I can't believe that isn't built into Premiere already. I think for me, I've always wanted this software from what I've seen online. My big barrier was really the cost. And I think it's about £400. And genuinely, I am very, very excited and I love it. But I got to think, would I spend £400 on it? I mean, it's a tough one. I don't know if I would spend £400 on it. Maybe during a good year. Currently I've had a baby, I've moved house, I've had a wedding, so finances are tight at the moment, as is time. And so this would save me a lot of time because it instantly makes things look nicer. So maybe it'd make me happier quicker when I grade, and so maybe it'd be worth it in that sense. But my wallet is very safely tucked tightly a lot of the time. I don't spend money unless I really, 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 really have to or want to. So is it worth the money? I think to some people it absolutely 100% will be. For me, I am slightly too stingy, I think, to spend that much money on it. I'm so happy that I have it now, and I absolutely will be using it, and I will be using it on everything because it just matches the way that I want to make stuff look. So yeah, I guess it's up to you. It looks great. This is just like a first touch. I'm sure there's going to be more in there as well. So yeah, I guess you have to make your own decision based on your own finances and based on what you see here. But I'm genuinely very happy and I can 100% recommend it. And I'm absolutely definitely going to be using it on this video when I put it out. So yeah, I'm going to have to spend a bit more time now going through the edit and regrading it. But I'm happy to do so because it looks now how it looked in my heart, if that makes any sense. Like, this is how I thought it looked because I was projecting on how I wanted to look on it. But yeah, now it actually looks how I want it to look. If you want to see this video when it's ready, I'm going to try and get this out pretty quickly. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit a like if you like the video, and I will see you next time.